You're listening to the Pittsburgh Piledriver. What the hell is that? Podcast.
Howdy ho, neighbors. It's the Pittsburgh Piledriver Podcast. And you know what that means. We're going to talk wrestling and special bonus for everybody. This is a second pick week. So isn't that exciting? 2 pick shows in a row. I believe we're going to do 2 super shows in a row last week and this week. So they're going to be a little bit, this one might be a little bit longer as well than a normal show. If that's the case, fuck yeah, listen to it anyway because it's going to be great. Second special thing is we at the Pittsburgh Piledriver Podcast would like to give out our warmest congratulations to one allegedly Logan, who is graduating high school this year. You may know this fellow from videos posted to the Pittsburgh Piledriver Podcast page from one Bob Gray. He made some special appearances in those videos, and if you eagle-eyed viewers go back and rewatch a couple of those, you might just see him. So we at the Pittsburgh Piledriver Podcast would like to wish him congratulations and say very job well done on that grand step in life. And I've been waiting all day to say this, so I'm going to say it right in here and now. Strap in. Allegedly Logan, we at the Pittsburgh Piledriver Podcast would like to wish you well in your future endeavors. Been waiting all day to say that. You, sir, just got WWE. Ha-ha! In your face. Third special treat is we have allegedly the originator of allegedly Logan. And if you can put 2 and 2 together, you'll figure out that is allegedly Dave. He, if you go back again and listen to a past couple episodes, gave us the old 1-2 puncheroo and knocked us out cold during a Stump the Chumps. And he called his shot.
But
what?
Brent, I gotta say this. You know what else he is? He is the former.
We're not there yet. We're not there yet. We're not there yet. It's great. So as everybody knows, fucking Beast the Legend is here. Mediocre and disappointing as always. Poot the Bard is here. Tiger Bomb Tom. Uppercut is. Did I do it right? I didn't. He is here, and
Uppercut.
Allegedly. Thank you. Allegedly, yeah. Dave. He is here joining us after he gave us the old whoopsie-doo and stumped the chumps. He said he's going to come on for the Hell in a Cell picks episode, and he is here. And if you hadn't already guessed, we have a new Chooserweight Champion. It is no longer allegedly Dave. It's been a long time coming. So let me see if I still have this. Let me see if I still have it in me. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Dan Ansem Handsome Ransom, and I am the advocate, the mouthpiece, as if he needed one, for your new, reigning, defending, undisputed, most mutton-chopped, handsome motherfucker who ever rubbed that belt across his testes. That's right. Beef the Legend is our new Chooserweight Champion. Give it up for Beef the Legend.
Transitional.
Yay. Wow.
Feels so good.
I'm ecstatic. I don't give a shit about these other yahoos and their fucking
Hashtag anyone but Dave.
Their terrible Putty impersonations. David Putty. I'm tired of their forget
What
them.
are you talking
Beef,
about?
what the hell? Well fought victory.
Sorry, I've been bamboozled. I just got my marinara sauce stolen from me. What the fuck is going on in this household?
Now,
Hey, everybody! Speaking of things that aren't pertinent to the podcast,
no, this is
go ahead,
what
Beef.
were you eating? What were you eating with the marinara? That will determine how big of an audacity it is.
Pizza stick.
A what?
The breadsticks from Pizza Hut.
Oh
Pizza
yeah,
dick.
no.
Oh,
you gotta go get that. You gotta go get that marinara sauce. Bob.
Those are fighting words there.
You gotta go get that. You gotta go put that marinara down your gullet, like all of it once. Go take it back and drink it all down. Let her know.
No, it's been brought. It's been returned. It's been returned.
Rub it on your pizza. Do something.
Drink it down. Put it to your lips and drink it all now. Look at her in the eyes and drink it all. Let her know that it's your marinara sauce.
All right. So I was informed it was so she could take it up and dump some out on the plate for my daughter to use for her breadsticks, and then it was returned to me. So
she's using the kid.
This guy gets it.
She knew what she did. I do it all the time.
We got a lot to talk about tonight.
Oh my god, a lot is going on right now.
Hell in a Cell picks, because Hell in a Cell is apparently this weekend, allegedly. I don't know.
Wait a minute. I see.
Is it WWE presents allegedly Dave in allegedly Hell in a Cell?
I put on Raw Monday night.
Is it out of the country? Where the hell is it?
Right? I put on Raw Monday night because I like to laugh sometimes.
It's in Djibouti. That's where it's at. Djibouti.
You know, on the big dumb ramp, it says Hell No Cell this Sunday, and I'm like, oh.
Hell No Cell.
Feels like we just picked the damn event. Because we did!
Yeah.
Okay. Take a minute.
No rest for the damn weary. Also, MJF is worth all the fucking money. Just sell the Jacksonville Jaguars and dump a dump truck full of that cash to MJF's door in Long Island and make sure that he stays
Get
with
your hands off my tequila, you drunk bastard.
Rest of it. We'll get to that. All right.
So can we put the rumors to bed? Before we do picks, let's just talk this real quick here about this MJF deal.
Yeah, we'll probably loop around back of it too. I would imagine, but go on.
That's fine. But is it safe to say at this point that we were all worked and MJF isn't going anywhere?
I don't think he's going anywhere. I mean, I think there's some truth to what started the situation about like there, probably some negotiations and stuff. But I assume that they probably just rolled with it and just kind of, amped it up to like 20 and just said, all right, let's make a thing out of it. So,
I think that Tom's right on the money here. I don't think it necessarily started as a work, but I think that they're like, oh hey, we're getting all the smarks, whipped up into a frenzy here. So let's see what we can do with it. And I'm not even sure if MJF no showing the event on Saturday, the meet and greet, was a work. And we'll probably never know. Unless he does like a tell-all book in the future, we'll never know.
That no-show seems to be the actual truth, and then everything afterwards was just an add-on to it.
Like they went, wait. What can we do with this?
I get the feeling that MJF not showing up for that meet and greet was kind of like the straw, as it were, and it finally got him and Tony to like have a dialogue, and Tony was like, all right, name your price. MJF said a ridiculous number, and Tony went, all right, and that's where we are. I literally believe that a new agreement has been given to him, and I think, and we'll see. It could just be that he's giving him a bunch of money now and waiting for 2024 to do a new contract. We'll see.
So you're thinking though is in between the no-show meet and greet and what Wednesday at Dynamite, they talked it over and Tony Khan did something, whether it's money or whatnot, to make MJF happy. Is that what you're saying?
I think it probably happened between Saturday and Sunday, if we're being real.
Wow.
Yeah, like because I think MJF needed to send a message to Tony Khan. I think the message was received, and I think that they probably got on the horn and said, "Hey, let's figure this out." I don't think that MJF ever had intent on leaving before the match. I think that was completely worked. And you know what? There may have been a plane ticket purchase for him. We'll never know. Or somebody was just feeding Sean Ross Sapp a line of crap, and he, was reporting it like, I know, right? And he was just reporting it like it was facts. I often question how much the dirt sheet guys actually know and how much is just a good guess. But
You don't think that MJF legitimately booked a flight with the intention of leaving?
No.
If he did not get more money before the actual event?
No, I truly don't. And with him reportedly showing up right before the event and leaving right after.
Now, do you think that was a work, or do you think he was still legitimately, unhappy and trying to send a message at that point?
I honestly have no idea. It could go either way. Like, Tony could have called him on Saturday after the meet and greet and was like, all right, what do we got to do? And they figured it out. And then he's like, hey, you know what? Let's fuel this fire, because that's and it was an awesome pay-per-view, and we'll talk about that too. But it was a great pay-per-view. But like leading up to it, all you could hear about was MJF, whether or not he was going to be there, whether or not he was going to be at the show. All day, the wrestling pundits were sending out tweets about, his whether or not he's there, whether he left, etc. So it would not surprise me if like the Sunday thing of him, the will he or won't he be at the show was worked up. And honestly, this may have been a complete work for the last, 4 months. Who fucking knows? And if they did, bravo, because guess what it did? The weekend of Double or Nothing, it got MJF trending. It whipped the fans into a frenzy. It got MJF nuclear heat. That's right, I said nuclear on Sunday night, and got Wardlow over like fucking gangbusters. So this all absolutely may have been planned from the beginning.
Yeah,
and maybe the whole no-showing that event was all part of the plan.
I wouldn't be surprised with how, first of all, AEW usually does really interesting stuff, but also because
they play the long game.
It just fits MJF's character. Like you can do this kind of stuff with MJF, and people will not immediately go, "It's a work."
That's a very good point.
The question I have though is if he actually decided to say, "Hey, I'm going to sign a deal now," doesn't that kind of hurt him because now he can't pen them against each other to get even more money if he's already agreed to something?
Did he sign an extension or did he just?
Nobody knows. Like
Oh yeah.
This whole thing. Go ahead, Dave.
I was going to say his biggest gripe, at least what everybody's talking about, was the fact is that all these guys that were coming in after him were getting more money than he was, and that he was generating more money for the company than they were longer. So he just wanted to be either on their level or close to it. And it seemed like Tony Khan just wanted him to, okay, I'll get you up to that, but I want you to sign this now. But he didn't want to because he wanted to start a bidding war in 24. And so, I mean, if there was additional money given, like as a businessman, I wouldn't just give somebody money. I mean, you got him for 18 more months.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. Yeah. And everybody, when he no-showed, everybody comes out of the fucking woodwork. They need to fire him. They need to release him for no-show. You fucking don't know shit.
That's the fucking beef taking the stand here.
That's the dumbest. That's just like fucking Vince releasing Sasha and Naomi. No fucking way.
No.
No, that's a
MJF
terrible idea
is
to release him.
very valuable,
Yeah,
and
you
like
give him what he wants.
yeah, the report is that Vince McMahon wants him more than anything. Like, oh, okay, I'll just let you do what you. Yeah, exactly. No, fuck you. And like it's ironic that this is all happening kind of after the Sasha Naomi thing. And who's to say that didn't influence this? You know, maybe real influenced fake. Who knows? But it's a similar situation, except for MJF's principles are more tightly tied to money than Sasha and Naomi's are. But like to Dave's point, I understand the principle of the matter that and the dude's got facts that he is consistently the biggest draw on Dynamite, that his segments have the biggest ratings. That is undisputed. No one can say boo about that because that is fucking truth. He was making, I think when AEW started, he was making like I think I read between $30,000 and $70,000 a year. They bumped him up a little bit to a couple $100,000 a year. But obviously, if you got the money to sign Sting, to sign CM Punk, to sign Bryan Danielson, to sign Keith Lee, Adam Cole, if you got all this money to be thrown at, like MJF said, these ex-WWE heads, you can afford some cash to the guy who absolutely is making your show. And again, to be fair, I feel the exact way about the Sasha and the Naomi situation. I absolutely feel that they need to be treated with better respect, and because they're two of the best in the division. They're not like they to WWE is not what MJF is to AEW. That's far greater, but it's still in the conversation. So it's not like I'm, saying something different than I was saying 2 weeks ago. I'm simply just making a point that I think that MJF absolutely deserves to be paid more. It's not like he's holding out. A lot of people, especially in this fucking town, have their fucking underwear in a twist whenever athletes hold out for more money on their current contract. He showed up. He did his job, which was the job that night. Like, this meet and greet was ancillary. It was on top, above and beyond, So he came, he did his job. So even if this happened after the night, he still showed up and did what he had to do, which was make Wardlow look like a fucking megastar.
And he fucking did it without it looking like he was without, as I like to say it, EC3ing it.
And I 100%, and that's why I think that it was that this agreement was done before the show on Sunday, because when they started playing his music, they like panned around the crowd for about 35-40 seconds before he actually came out to give you the feeling: is MJF here? Is Tony Khan going to come out and name a replacement? Is Justin Roberts just going to say, you win her by forfeit? Like nobody knew. So like I think that was all playing into it as well. And then obviously whenever Max got in the ring, he did the airplane spin. Like that's why I think things were in motion. And like I said, that the whole fucking meet and greet on Saturday absolutely could have been part of it. And I get the cornets out there. Motherfucker biting off his nose to spite his face, motherfucker. Like, I get it.
Oh.
Like, this is...
I fucking love Beef's version of Jim Cornette because it makes him sound like a toddler trying to be Jim Cornette. Or, as I like to say it, Jim Cornette being just Jim Cornette.
Exactly! That's my fucking point. I get it. That's not the best business by having this meet and greet. It's the first time you're in Vegas in 3 years. Like, he's one of your biggest stars. You want him there, but at the same time, like if you think you can pull off something big, and again, it was the day before the pay-per-view. Like, people could have then said, you know what? $50 is worth it to see whether MJF shows up or not. I want to see what happens with MJF for no showing. That could have easily been another $10,000-$20,000 or, 10,000-20,000 views, and how much more fucking money. So yeah, like, taking him out of the meet and greet could have cost Tony Khan a little bit in at that moment, but may have actually ended up getting him more buys for the pay-per-view. Well, again, that's something that we'll never know, but it's something to think about.
Now,
look, there's another.
No, you go ahead. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, there's another aspect of this whole thing that a lot of people aren't even talking about, is the other side, because he just spent how long building up this match with Wardlow, and to walk out on Wardlow, his traveling buddy, for how many years now? That's a shit move. I don't care if you're trying to be a heel or not, or trying to make money. I mean, you're leaving a guy that you just worked with for how many years high and dry.
Yeah, man. And that's why I don't believe he ever, regardless of whether or not this is a work, shoot, whatever, I don't think he would have ever fucking bailed on War Dog like that. I just don't. Because again, he's a smart dude, and he knows that, regardless of whether he no shows or whatever, WWE is still going to want him a lot, and that this, at the end of the day, is only going to hurt Wardlow, which it absolutely would have.
That's my question now. Is I've heard you say, and I'm not putting this on you. I'm just, you have referenced it many times, and so that's why I'm just saying that. You say WWE really wants him.
Yes.
This confuses me a bit, strictly because he's not the typical Vince McMahon built guy. He's not super tall. He's not super muscular. He's not super ripped. I'm like, that confuses me a bit. Just because he doesn't fit that mold. Now, yeah, he does great on the mic, and he's a fantastic, heat magnet. His promo skills are just out of the world. But I don't know, like, I waffle back and forth on, like, oh, he's going to go to WWE and they're going to use him great for a half a year. Then the remainder of his contract is just going to be abuse and fed to big muscle knuckleheads because he's not a big dude.
Well, so yes, I agree. Vince definitely has a type. You know what that type is? Greenback. As much as we like to pen Vince's success stories, you also got to remember who got him through the 90s. It wasn't it wasn't big, gripply, muscle-bound men. It was Bret Hart, Shawn Michaels.
Bret Hart, Shawn Michaels, even Razor Ramon. Even though he was a big guy, he wasn't like the mountain of fucking beef that Vince McMahon likes.
Steve Austin, even The Rock,
But after that, though, like more towards the current and into the future, it was big, muscled up Triple H, Batista, Cena. Look at how they pushed big dumb dudes like Snitsky, Kozlov, Heidenreich until they realized, oh, these guys are horrible. What's that one dude from the Nexus that they pushed to the moon, but he was just absolutely him. But the dude that wound up being like their lawyer or something, he's
David Otunga.
David Otunga. They pushed David Otunga to the moon because he had muscles on muscles on muscles, but he was absolute dog shit on shit on shit on shit in the ring.
I don't think he was that bad. He just wasn't anything special.
He was horrible. He was awkward. He was weird. Like, he didn't know what he was doing. I mean, granted, he didn't hurt anybody, but at the same time,
married to what's her name?
Jennifer Hudson.
Jennifer Hudson. So right there, that gets him a job. Like, if you're married to somebody and Vince can tout you as married to somebody, you got a job. No problem.
But my point remains, though, is that like past the Attitude Era, Vince's
Right. Okay. But
Vince's sphere of what he looked at into the sun was big, muscled up, muscle knuckleheads.
and I'll loop back
And-
around to this point. Vince likes money. Vince can, just like all of us, just like MJF, just like TK, they can all look at the quarter-hour breakdowns. They can look at the segment-by-segment breakdowns and see where the views are on Dynamite. And every single week, time after time, it's MJF. So not only does he have the best mic skills in the business, and I don't think that's, no one can dispute that. Not only is he a very capable hand in the ring, and again, I don't think a lot of people are going to dispute that anymore, but he's also an it guy. He's the guy that people will tune in to see. One way or another, people are tuning in to see Maxwell Jacob Friedman, whether it's to talk, whether it's to get his ass kicked, whatever. Like, people are tuning in, and that's what Vince saw. Vince is like, okay.
Or let's not belittle him here, or to watch him actually work.
Right, exactly. So, like, Vince understands numbers.
Weren't people tuning into NXT to see Adam Cole? Weren't people tuning into NXT to see Prince Face Paint? What's his nuts?
Apparently not enough.
Finn Balor. But like that.
The grass is always the grass is always greener, though.
Okay.
Vince can take a look at those guys and be like, they're not my guys. Like, I didn't train them. Yeah,
they weren't Vince's picks at all. Those were all Triple H's picks. Those were his guys.
And they've been on the independent scene for a hot minute to all have enough quote unquote bad habits that Vince would need to break. Whereas MJF, yes, he existed before WWE. Yes, he's been on the independent scene, but he's also very young, very trainable, and has proven that he can wrestle TV style. And honestly, more than anything else, I think that's what Vince cares about. Vince could care less about Adam Cole doing his top rope Canadian Destroyers. Vince could care less about Keith Lee flinging dudes into the 10th row. Vince doesn't care about that indie shit. Vince wants to see people who can wrestle on TV, and MJF absolutely gets how to wrestle on TV. So that's another thing that I think Vince looks at and goes, this kid understands it. He does not like the rest of those spot monkeys over there. He understands how to wrestle, and Vince's words, not mine. Although, Jeff Hardy. But, Vince is like, hey, I get it. Like, and I get that he gets it. So and again, I'm not Vince fan. I can't read Vince's mind. But that, to me, between the ratings, the total package. Yeah, man. Thank you. The total package and
Lex.
It's his birthday, by the way. The it factor, like, he absolutely saw dollar signs in MJF, and for good fucking reasons.
I get that pit in my stomach feeling thinking about MJF and WWE like I did when we went back and were just, well, I say we. When we go back and you guys were all just Boner City crazy for the Fiend. He's the next Phenom. He's the next Undertaker. He's going to be the future of the WWE. Oh, no. Now, I don't have a big a pit in my stomach as I did with him.
Well, okay.
I got a little bit. I got a little bit in there going.
Put a pin in this. Ransom. We got business, and this is actually a good talking point for after picks, because this is more relevant than you may realize. Let's put a pin in all this. Let's do some picks. Yeah.
You put a pin in my butt.
That's not.
Giggity, get it?
Hell in a Cell this Sunday night.
Jokes.
It's okay. I'll say this. I don't expect much from it, but as we've seen with WWE, if we don't expect a lot out of it, it might end up being a good show. And again, I don't want to put my mouth on Trouble, the name of Ransom's penis. I do.
Hello.
He
Here's
told
the
me
thing.
he told me it was named Kyle.
I named my dick Trouble.
Does your dick also drink energy drinks and wear a backwards baseball cap?
Now you got trouble in you.
Ew.
Anyway, looking at this card, it's not that bad of a card. And so far, it's only Raw matches. So that's what we're going to pick: Raw matches. And one of our new picks, or one of our new pick'em contestants last month, Ryuk, asked the question, what do we, how do we handle the picks afterward? Easy answer: we don't. SmackDown may announce 5 more matches tomorrow night, and guess what? We won't give a shit about any of them. Well, if they're good matches, we'll enjoy watching them. Just like we enjoyed watching Darby versus Kyle O'Reilly. It was a great match, but we didn't pick it. So we can only pick what's on the table the Thursday before the pay-per-view, and here's what we got. You ready, boys? Here we go. Cody Rhodes versus Seth freaking Rollins in a Hell in a Cell match. Bianca Belair defends against Asuka and Becky Lynch in a triple threat match for the Raw Women's Championship. Bobby Lashley versus Omos, and MVP in a 2-on-1 handicap match. Ezekiel versus Kevin Owens.
Oh,
Theory
Allegedly.
defends allegedly Ezekiel. Theory defends against Mustafa Ali for the United States Championship.
Oh wait,
And
they're actually using Mustafa Ali again.
They are, and they're actually defending the United States title on pay-per-view.
Wow.
Double
Now
jeopardy.
that'll be a pre-show. Come on.
Well, I mean, they got 6 matches on the card, so maybe.
It'll
First match of
listen.
the night.
Yeah, Theory and Ali will get relegated to the pre-card for sure.
We'll
damn
see.
it.
And finally, Finn Balor, AJ Styles, and Liv Morgan take on the Judgment Day, which is Edge, Damian Priest, and Rhea Ripley. Edge doing his best Old Man Logan cosplay is just wonderful. So, as
Make allegedly our guest pick first.
He will. I was gonna say we should probably go over where everybody finished up on the standings. Am I right, Beef?
You are reading my mind, my dude.
Awesome.
Just let him turn that knife. Go ahead.
Yeah.
You only get it this month.
The people need to be informed.
The people deserve to know, and so your new Chooserweight champion decreeth. The final standings from May. As we have alluded to, yours truly came at the top of the heat with 72 points, followed closely behind by Tiger Bomb Tom with 71 points, followed closely behind by Pat with 70 points. Good on you, Pat. You got within striking distance, my man, but you just couldn't close that gap.
He made up a lot of ground with that pay-per-view, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. I think
sure did.
Yeah.
Pat got 57 points out of that pay-per-view, and I believe
Wow.
Yeah, that was the best. That was the biggest margin of points in that pay-per-view by like 4.
Damn.
So yeah.
Wow.
So Pat had 70. Poot had 68. Good job, Poot.
I was so close.
The incumbent, our very special guest Dave, then came in with 67. Not a bad score, but just wasn't your month there, champ. Sorry about that.
Yeah, I knew that was going to happen with all the shit I got going on around. But yes.
Oh, here come the excuses, boys. Here come the excuses.
Hey, I don't make any excuses. Like I said, just hold on to it for the month. I'll get it back.
Hell, listen to this guy. Ryuk had 64. Ransom came in at 62.
Oh, dear.
And then Amber was down at 57. So,
Right, Amber. Woohoo!
You're not the worst. You're not the worst.
Fuck.
But that was last month. This is this month. We are now picking Hell in a Cell, and we will start with our friend Vapor
Allegedly.
Dave.
Now I'm a friend.
Allegedly.
Well, you're a friend of the show. You're a friend of the show.
Okay, all right.
Because
As long
You're
as I
my
don't have
friend,
that
Dave.
belt,
I
right?
don't care what Beef
I
says
know,
about you.
Ransom.
You're my friend.
I know.
hey, I saw
As long
that
as I don't
video
have that
where
belt.
Hey,
A
for the right price,
compatriot
for
of
the
the
right price,
podcast.
for the right price, I'll be your friend. We'll talk.
Fuck,
Yeah, I know.
Fuck
I
it.
pay
fuck
him
these
at
guys.
least
You don't
2
need them.
cents a
As
month.
long as you got me as a friend, you don't need them.
Anyway, Dave,
Live.
here's your first. Here is your first
All
task.
right, what's the first match?
Cody Rhodes versus Seth freaking Rollins. That's a Hell in a Cell match. 6 points on the line, so you know the deal. 1 through 6. Pick 'em. Who you got? How many points?
So you're starting with the only decent match that's going to be this Sunday.
Oh, I
So-
disagree, my dude. This is a good-looking card, but this is definitely going to be the main event, more than likely.
Okay. I haven't watched any WWE this month, as you can tell by my pick in the last pay-per-view.
Oh.
I don't even know. This is what, their third match?
Yes.
Yeah,
Like
this
a
will be
big
3.
match?
Yeah, because
And
they had.
Cody's got both wins.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
See, this is where they could.
Has Cody
Go
been
ahead.
in a Hell in a Cell match before at all?
He
or
has
is this
not
his
been
first?
in a heck in a sec match. No.
Heck in a sec.
Wasn't he in one
See, this-
with Legacy?
No,
Probably.
I thought that was Elimination
No.
Chamber or something.
Maybe it was. I have no idea.
I think you're right.
The only thing you got to look at is I know they're building Cody to take. I'm hoping to take one of those belts off of Roman. Like, do you just continue to build him at this point, or I mean, he's had little losses, but it's because of interference. This is the one that's going to throw a fit for me. So I'm going to go with Cody again, and I'm just going to throw 1 point on it because I have no idea what they're going to do with this.
Ooh.
Okay. All right. I'll tell you what. I like that pick. I'm picking Cody as well. I don't know what the future holds for Roman and the straps. I really don't. I'd like to think that Cody plays a part somewhere in there because they dropped that hint. But I hate seeing Seth Rollins lose a third damn time clean. But I think that's where we're at. So I'm picking Cody. 3 points. Poot.
A handsome bard.
This is where men are made, and you know what? This is why I keep just being out of reach of this stupid freaking title. But I'm gonna go with Seth Rollins for 1 point. You're gonna go Seth Rollins because I'm just like, if they give old Cody the hat trick on wins, that's fine, and I wouldn't be surprised if he has that written in somewhere that he has to just dominate and dominate and dominate. And Seth Rollins can eat all the pins in the world and still look like $1 million. But I feel like there's going to be chicanery, and I feel like Seth Rollins is going to sneak away, and his Weasley little face and his Matt, it's just gonna is gonna get it, and having that, and he'll as the heel blow it up like he's the greatest, and he beat Cody Rhodes, even though Cody Rhodes beat him twice. I feel like Seth Rollins, this is his wheelhouse, and I feel like this is where he can get some chicanery bullshit win.
I like that you've reduced Seth Rollins to Wario, and yet
I
I'm
love it.
strangely here for it. Ransom, who you got?
I'm gonna differ from Poot here, not because I think it's a bad pick, but when I look at this program here with these two, Cody Rhodes came back as a big fucking deal at WrestleMania. He got the win. Okay, that's expected. Now they go on to do. I'm assuming that they're going to do a 3-match program here. These 3, and this is it. If Cody wins the second one, that makes Cody look real strong, especially against Seth Rollins. If you're going to want to hitch your wagon to Cody and you've got future world title plans for Cody, I don't see the sense in having a big return, big win at Mania, the rematch, WrestleMania Backlash rematch. Cody wins again, building fire, building steam. And then the blow-off match, Seth wins, and that's it. You're done. That's the end of the program. I don't see how that propels Cody towards a future world title reign. I feel like that takes the wind out of his sails. Even if it's a chicanery win, Seth does something crooked or stupid, gets out of the cell, hits him with CM Punk's Diet Pepsi. It just, that happening feels like it takes wind out of Cody's sails. And if you're building Cody up for a world title run, having him beat Seth Rollins 3 in a row off of the heels of coming back sends a message like, okay, this is the guy. We're going to hitch our wagon to him. And when it comes to Cody Rhodes versus Roman Reigns, assuming that's what we're going to get, it makes it that bigger of a spectacle, that bigger of a blockbuster, because Cody has just come back and won and proven he's not the Stardust that left. He's the American Nightmare Cody Rhodes that has returned. So that's why I see Cody winning this as almost as a foregone conclusion, because it makes no sense to me to have Seth Rollins win this third and assumingly final match and then go, ha ha, wah, I've won the match. And then Cody goes, well, what am I going to do now? But it's happened before.
So I'm sorry, man. What was your pick and how many points?
I'm going to do Cody Rhodes for 5 points.
Shit. Tom.
Oof, man. I like Poot's reasoning. I also kind of want to go Waluigi, but I'm not. I don't know. Ransom also made a very, very salient point there about Cody. If there is a match where they would have Seth go over him, this would be the one to do it, because it's one where you could get away with a lot of chicanery and a lot of bullshit. Oh boy. I don't know. This. All right. Part of me also is even thinking, will they do a Dusty finish? But they're not that.
Nobody wins.
It's hard to do a Dusty finish on Hell in a Cell.
Exactly.
They've done it before.
Unless they both get stretched out.
Seth Rollins was in it.
Wait, yeah. Who was that one? Was that the one with the one with the Fiend?
It was Seth Rollins and the Fiend.
Ah, damn it!
Oh no!
Wasn't there one where Roman Reigns was involved too?
I don't know. Was there?
You might be thinking of the one where he speared Brock Lesnar through the cage, and Lesnar held on to the title that way.
Oh yeah, you're right.
That was the cage match in Abu Dhabi or wherever the fuck it is.
Djibouti.
Yep.
Oh, are we gonna? Oh, is Tom gonna pick a no contest for this and steal the title away? Oh.
I doubt it. Nah, I'm gonna pick the safe bet and go with Cody, but for one, I'm not confident in this at all.
At all.
I don't know. It's yeah. This looking at the card, this is the one match of all of them that does not seem. This and the triple threat are the only ones that are very unclear of how they could go. But I'll ride the hot hand, and I'll go with the son of a plumber for one.
If you're even considering putting Cody in the title picture at SummerSlam, he absolutely has to be Rollins here. Speaking of the triple threat match, we're picking next. Bianca Belair defends against Asuka and Becky Lynch. Just in the sake of timing, I'm going to pick Bianca for 6 points. I don't think there's a fucking point in the world to give her back the title at WrestleMania to have her lose it 2 months later. I think that'd be silly and stupid, so I'm picking Bianca Belair.
That's what we thought last year.
Yeah, but she held it till SummerSlam, so talk to me again in a month and a half.
In a month and a half, okay, not that much of a difference.
Who you got?
Bianca Belair for 6 as well. Because again, just echoing beef. There's no reason for me to expound on it. They need to ride this wave minimum to SummerSlam.
Ransom.
Bianca Belair, 4 points.
Tom.
Bianca Belair, 2 points.
Allegedly, Dave.
Well, considering this match was thrown together because of the whole Naomi and Sasha debacle, I'm going with Bianca for 6 as well.
I think, if anything, probably just moved up their timetable. I think they ultimately planned to have a match like this later on down the summer, and they were just like, fuck it, we'll just move up the timeline, show Sasha and Naomi how much we don't need them, which is fair. So it's all fair points.
The new
Bobby
tag
Lashley.
champ, by the way, who are the new women's tag champs?
Well,
Nobody.
So yeah, they said we're gonna do a tournament for them, and then they realized that they have like 4 women's tag teams on the roster. So
God.
I
think they're going to take this opportunity to just let them quietly disappear.
Well, they've talked about
Ooh.
bringing up the some of the women's tag team from NXT to compete, but that's a different can of worms because they already have their own tag team champions in NXT for the women. So and they which I think was a mistake to begin with. Not that I didn't love NXT, but it was superfluous. They didn't need them.
It's also not good PR to just have that go away, because eventually someone's going to go, hey, whatever happened to the women's tag belts?
And also, it would only just serve to prove Sasha and Naomi's points, how unimportant those belts were, and how they were, that's why they were trying to stand up for them. So, Vince, if anything else, we know that Vince doesn't like to be a guy who's proven wrong. So, I think that he will absolutely have somebody else win them. It's just a matter of when. Bobby Lashley will take on Omos and MVP in a handicap match. Poot, you're picking first.
Just because I like him so damn much, and I think that they are going to fuck up this Omos thing, I'm going to go Bobby Lashley for 2 points. Fuck it.
Ransom.
I'm going to go Omos and MVP for 1 point. I think was it Omos and Lashley at Mania?
Yes.
It was.
Okay.
And then again at Backlash.
Yes.
Who won that one?
Almost did, didn't he?
Yeah, I think Lashley won at WrestleMania. Omos won at Backlash.
Oh.
Yeah, they split it. Yeah, this is a rubber match for sure.
Okay, that does change things. Now I'm gonna stick with Omos and oh fuck. No, I'm gonna stick with Omos. That was my gut. My gut is if they want to try to do something with Omos, having him lose twice to Lashley, especially back to back, that's not the way to get him into the position that they want to try to get him in. So I'm gonna put my 1 pointer on Omos. Omega. Kenny?
Good night. Goodbye. Tom.
3 points, Bobby Lashley.
Dave.
I'm thinking because they're trying to build this guy up and making him get a win the last time didn't look very good. By putting it in a handicap match, almost gets the win again, him and MVP. So I'm going to put 2 points for them.
All right, we're pretty. And me, I guess I should get my point. I like Lashley, but I'm not confident, so I'm putting 2 points on it. Seems like we're a pretty good split house there. Ezekiel, that's not Ezekiel, that's Elias, versus Kevin Owens. Ransom, who you got?
What do I have point wise?
You have 2, 3, and 6.
I'm gonna do.
I love when he has the moment of realization where he just realized he painted himself into a corner somehow, some way with something. And he's
Yeah. A, don't talk about it. B, how dare you? And 7, I'm gonna put 3 points. I'm gonna put 2 points on Ezekiel Elias. Again, if you're trying to get legs to this gimmick, having him lose to Kevin Owens doesn't accomplish that.
Tomothy.
End of speech. Wrong phone Swanson. Oh.
6 points for Ezekiel.
Oh my gosh.
That's a lot of confidence, Dave.
Can anybody tell me what's going on with this? I have no clue. Like with these two.
Okay,
So basically,
allow me.
here's your. Yeah, go
Allow
ahead.
me. So, have you ever watched the movie The Thing?
Which one? The better original, the remake? Which one?
The better
Sounds like
original.
both.
All right, go ahead.
All right, so
Yes, I have.
The Thing showed up, turned into Elias, but didn't do it with the beard, and decided to call himself Ezekiel. And Kevin Owens is the only person apparently in the room that's like, this is Elias, this is not Ezekiel. And Ezekiel's like, no, I'm Ezekiel. I'm Elias's younger brother. And he is standing his ground on that. And it's driving Kevin Owens fucking bonkers.
Yeah.
This whole match is just because thinks he's going crazy, or he's trying not to go crazy?
It's because he's like, no, I'm Ezekiel. I'm Elias's younger brother. And like on social media, there's a Photoshop picture of them standing next to each other. Like,
Oh God.
you know, it's fucking hilarious. And they're playing it well. And Beef even pointed out the good guy Ezekiel memes. Oh, they're so good. Like, Ezekiel's the kind of guy that will stop and help you change a tire, even if he doesn't know you. Like, you know, it's like stuff like that.
Okay.
So that's pretty much it. Is basically like the first night he came out and he's Ezekiel. Corey Graves is like, that guy looks familiar. And he's like, no, that's Ezekiel. And Kevin Owens is the only person going, no, this is Elias. And the crowd, of course, did it. But now the crowd apparently is on board with this as Ezekiel. And it's just fucking magic.
Okay.
It's fantastic.
It's amazing watching Kevin Owens lose his mind, being the only one that knows that Ezekiel is Elias, but nobody else will believe him.
Yeah.
And it's
Okay.
just
All right.
driving
So
Kevin Owens insane.
I need to go back and watch these interactions, is what you're saying.
Oh my
Okay.
god,
100%.
this is some
Okay.
stinky dog poo that absolutely would have been something you would have been like, oh man, what a step in this if it wasn't for Kevin Owens. But now you're like, oh, this is hilarious because it's Kevin Owens. Like if Kevin Owens wasn't involved, this is something that we would absolutely be crucifying Vince McMahon for.
Yeah, it's very, very tongue in cheek.
All right. So, and this is their first match, right?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay. So I got, what do I have? 3, 4, and 5 left.
Yes, sir.
All right. In that aspect, I think if they're just starting this, then more than likely, I think I'm going to go with Ezekiel for 3 because I could see him getting like a quick roll-up win or something, just something fast and out of nowhere just to piss off Kevin Owens, and then they have to do, another match after this.
Good pick. I like Ezekiel. 1 point. Poot.
Oh my God, Ezekiel 5 points. It's a no-brainer.
I almost said Austin Theory. Theory defends against Mustafa Ali in a singles match for the United States Championship. Tom, who you got?
I'm gonna put. I got 4 and 5 left. I'm gonna put 4 points on Theory. I know he's still getting a lot of FaceTime with Vince and stuff like that, doing the selfies and everything like that. So obviously, Vince sees something in Theory, which is good because he should, because Theory's, he's got that it factor. He's got the look. I just don't see Mustafa Ali being the one to take the title off him because they've done dick all with Mustafa Ali forever. Mm-hmm. Why should that change now? Why now? Then, now, forever. Fuck Mustafa Ali is WWE's fucking, or at least Vince. Yeah. So 4 points on Theory for sure.
Dave, who are you picking on this one?
So on this one, I mean, I don't think they're going to give it to Ali already. Or, I mean, whatever his name is now. I think Theory's going to probably keep this. Yeah, I think Theory's going to keep it. They might build it up a little bit more. I don't think he's going to lose that until at least SummerSlam if he does. So I'm going to go with Theory with, I think I have 4 and 5, so let's go with 4.
Yes. I mean, again, hotshot titles are not fun, especially something like the United States title that has a great history. So let's try here, huh? Let's try. Should actually be a really good match for what it's worth, but Theory wins this. I got 5 points on it. Poot.
There is no way that Muffaletta Albert is taking that belt. So I'm going with Theory. Theory for 5 points. Because I think all I have left is 4.
No, you have 3 and 4 left.
Oh, 3 and 4. I'll go 4 for Theory and not Muffaletta Albert.
God.
I am never going to be able to think of him the same way again.
Did I just hear an honest to God spit take?
He might have. I did.
Did I do it? Have I achieved the peak of comedy?
No, you broke me though. Oh my God, I was not expecting that.
Ransom, who you got?
I'm gonna put my 3-pointer here on Muffaletta Albert. No, I'm gonna do Theory because of what everybody said. Figure it out. Theory for 3 points.
So of course, out there at home, if you're jumping the DraftKings and making some bets this weekend, make sure to put your money on Ali. Finally,
damn it!
Who the hell is that?
Ali.
Who the shit is Kingsley Zissou? Finally, we have Finn Balor versus AJ Styles versus Liv Morgan. If you know, you know. I'm sorry, AJ Balor and Liv versus the Judgment Day. Edge, Damian Priest, and Rhea Ripley. Dave, you're first to pick on this one. First to pick at the beginning, first to pick at the end.
Well, okay, so I got a question first before we do this one.
Yeah.
Do you guys think that they're going to be adding a 4th member this weekend because they've been talking about it?
Yes.
I don't know about I don't know about weekend, but I think that a 4th member is coming. Yes, but maybe not this weekend.
That's false.
So this is the first group match they've had, correct? Like usually it's just been them against AJ or them against Balor. Or...
They might have had some tags, but not a
Edge
tag yet.
Edge and Priest may have done stuff together, but never as the 3-man unit. No, or 3-person unit. No.
Giggity.
Okay. I don't know. The last time I picked this group, actually, the last 2 pay-per-views, this group has screwed me over. So,
oh.
The problem is if you keep beating the baby faces at this point, when do you stop caring for them? I mean, they've lost twice on the last 2 pay-per-views. So
no, never.
Never. No, never.
I swear, I know I'm going to pick. I'm going to go with is it the Judgment Day or Judgment Day?
The Judgment Day, yes, sir.
I'm going to go with the Judgment Day, and this is going to be the match where they lose. So I'll go with whatever points I have left.
So you are picking Judgment Day, though?
Yeah. I'm probably going to lose this one, but go ahead.
Go ahead. Yeah,
Go ahead.
I agree. And I think that you and I are on a very similar level here, where I think I also picked the opposite of Judgment Day both times, be it WrestleMania, Backlash, whatever. I think I picked against them every time, and here we are. But I mean, it's their first match as a group. You can't do that. Edge has been, if you guys follow Edge on social media, he's been putting out pictures every single day of somebody new. Ciampa was there. He posted Balor. He posted Liv Morgan. He posted AJ Styles. He posted just a number of people. Like every day was a new picture of all these rumored people. So that tells me it's probably not anybody that we're expecting. But I think we will get a fourth member, just maybe not this weekend. But I am picking the Judgment Day. It is my 4-pointer. Poot.
The Judgment Day, my 3-pointer. I think we are going to get at the end of the match, we're gonna get a swerve. I think Balor's gonna join, and he's gonna be all fucking Dark Prince Chancery, last Chancery. He's gonna be
Chancellery.
I think that is the most likely
there.
thing that will happen. But if it doesn't happen this weekend, I still think that the Judgment Day is going over, which I'm sorry, still haven't gelled with that name. They could have tried a little fucking harder.
I mean, would you rather that be called the Backlash or the Armageddon?
No, I would like them to be called the Great Balls of Fire.
Maybe,
Thank you.
The capital punishment.
The Fatal 4-Way.
Be in your house.
The in your house.
The over the
My
edge.
house.
Oh no, not never.
Oh,
There it is. Ransom, who you got?
poor Owen Hart.
Should have been Goldberg.
Should have been. Oh no. I'm gonna go. I almost said I'm gonna go Bret Hart. Damn it. I'm gonna have another drink of this tequila. I'm gonna go Judgment Day. Yeah. It doesn't. 6 points. Suck it. It doesn't make sense to have this group first time as a group fighting as a group lose. That's stupid and bullshit. Don't do it. I can see them not introducing a new member at this pay-per-view, but on the other hand, I think why wait? Like, why wait? Because I feel like if they introduce a new member here, that just allows them to go in and do either a 4v4 at SummerSlam or three men versus 3 men at SummerSlam. And plus, I think, like, since Edge has teased all 3 of his opponents in this match as potential people to join Judgment Day, it really could make for a good nobody trusts anybody on that team. And, you know, AJ's always looking over his shoulder at Balor. Balor's always looking over his shoulder at AJ. They're both looking over their shoulder at Liv Morgan. Like, who are you going to do it? Like, don't do it.
Don't you do it. Don't you fucking did it.
Keep moving. Keep moving. Don't do it. So yeah, I think that could factor into this match as like a good, like, you know, added version of paranoia. Like, oh, who's going to do it? Are you going to do it? Get out of here. And I also wouldn't be surprised to see it be none of the people he teased, just as a complete out of nowhere surprise. Maybe Wyndham Rotunda comes back and joins up with the old Judgment Day. Hello. We'll see. But I definitely think they're going to win.
All right. Top Gun Tango Tom, take us home. Who you got?
This is my 5-pointer. So I think there's a good chance that that it, like Rance was saying, it's not anybody that we've seen. If there is somebody that joins them, you know, be on the lookout for fucking Veer. I'm kidding, obviously.
The worst.
Yeah, exactly.
Jinder might.
Yeah. Fuck it. Throw Shanky in there too while you're at it. I could care less. No, Judgment Day is going to win this one for sure. I think they might hold off on adding somebody just yet, but I do like the paranoia aspect of that. It's good to, you know, have an Edge play those mind games and, you know, work in the psychology and everything like that. So I could sit there and if I actually had cable, watch it all day long, all the weeklies. I'd watch Raw just for Judgment Day. Yeah, maybe Liv Morgan too. How you doing?
I don't think they're in the same match.
How you doing?
What's that?
It's a good thing they're in the same match.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm gonna guess, being that it's not added on yet, maybe they're saving it for SummerSlam. I don't know. What has there been any talk of the unification of the tag titles yet? Like I know you showed us pictures.
Oh, it happened. It's
They already did it. It was last week.
Oh well, fuck me then. Okay.
The Usos are already the unified champs.
No surprise there.
Then they turned around and took out Orton.
Yep. So now Riddle's teaming with Nakamura because
reasons.
Yeah, why not?
Poor Nakamura and poor Riddle.
So there's your there's your Judgment Day. There's your Hell in a Cell picks.
Yeah, are they gonna change their music to bro?
Jesus Christ.
I mean, it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. I mean, I get it. Nakamura is down Boogs and Riddle's missing Orton, so why the hell not? But yeah, the whole thing's kind of weird. I tell you.
I'll come back and it'll be Boogs Orton.
I mean, like between the two of them, you might actually get like one. Between the two of them, you might actually get like one set of fully opened eyes. Jesus Christ! Like,
Arcade Boogs.
Wow. That's it. Sign off.
Well, at least it's not Asian Pacific Islander fucking month anymore. At least he waited for Pride
I was alluding to the marijuana usage.
Yeah,
I mean, you want to take it there.
Wow.
You were half alluding to marijuana use. What about the other half? Come on, Tom. We ain't dumb.
You need to tell me that Nakamura isn't out there
your
getting
shit
stoned
together,
when he's
Tom.
surfing. Come on now. He's out there surfing waves and fucking smoking blunts all day long.
All right.
All right, so yeah, I'm not even going to tell you how to do the picks because by the time you hear this episode, you will have already picked, or else you will lose, and you're going to all lose anyway because I will continue to be the champ, or at least somebody here at the Pittsburgh Piledriver Podcast will be not Dave.
Oh, not with the way that I picked. Not with the way that I picked. Fuck stick.
We were almost co-champions, Beef. If I would have just
we were very close.
If I would have pulled my head out of my ass and thought with my head instead of my heart and picked Britt Baker instead of Ruby Soho.
We've done it before, man, and I will welcome when we are co-champions again.
Team Tiger Beef.
But for now, Beefy's time to shine.
Keep blowing each other up. Let's go.
Yeah.
He called it, nerds.
Let's talk a little bit more about AEW because that's kind of the hot button right now. WWE is in the doldrums except for having to move one of their big summer shows to a smaller arena. More.
Oops.
More.
Laughed my ass off when I heard that.
More bomb threats, I'm guessing, right?
Yeah. Bomb threats. As in their attendance is gonna bomb.
Well done.
Wait, I didn't know Sergeant Slaughter was on the card again.
Punk put that on Twitter. He just said more bomb threats ? And then immediately took it right back down. But of course, people got it. I had to fucking laugh because it's so laughable, And I commend them. But I mean, like, they put out this big commercial with Cody Rhodes talking about, first of all, it confused the fuck out of everybody, where he's like, so you want a shot at the title at WrestleMania? It all starts here. And everyone's like, wait, is the Royal Rumble happening in June? What's happening? It's Money in the Bank. And everybody's like, well, did they change the rules for Money in the Bank? Like, no, you just have to be smarter than what WWE wants you to be. And they had the big promo package of he's standing in the middle of the Death Star in Las Vegas, and they had the pyro package and everything, and man, they tried so hard, but it just never came together. You know why? Because Money in the Bank should not be its own event. Repeat it with me.
No.
Money in the Bank should not be its own event.
Rabble.
Money in the Bank should flab flarbin fling flamming.
Money in the Bank was amazing when it was part of WrestleMania. And if you have a hard-on for doing 2 Money in the Bank matches, whether it be a men and a women's, whether it be, an upper card and a mid card, whether it be a singles and a tag team, I don't give a fuck. If you want to do 2, guess what? There are 2 nights of WrestleMania now. You can do 1 on each night.
There you
There's
go.
no fucking reason There's no fucking reason why this should be
Assuming-
happening.
Assuming that you keep WrestleMania a 2-night event, which I would love if they continue to do, but
I think it's already been announced for sure next year.
for sure next year I
Uh,
know it is, but
yeah,
after next year we have no idea yet. So
No, I mean it just doesn't make sense to go back to the old way.
well,
It became a staple that you look forward to, like the Royal Rumble every January. At WrestleMania, you always had a Money in the Bank.
yeah,
And you always
Exactly.
had until that night to cash your briefcase in from the previous year. So that was the anticipation that everybody waited for. When they switch it to its own pay-per-view, now who knows when you have to cash it in? Am I cashing in the next day, the same night? Who knows? 3
And
years from now?
I think the last 2 or 3 years, both contracts have been gone by like September.
yep,
Um,
they sure have.
I'm pretty sure one has been gone within the first 2 weeks.
Yep.
yeah, 100%.
Well, I was going to say one of them has almost always been gone, like either within that night or like within that first week.
Yeah.
Because usually they come out on something happens on a Raw or SmackDown. Who was the last women's Money in the Bank winner? I think wasn't it? Was it Bailey? I don't know.
Who
2
won
winners
last
ago was
year?
Asuka, but and there was no contract. There was the belt in there because that's when Becky got pregnant.
Yep. And she
Yep.
said, "Congratulations."
Last
Was
year,
it-
I don't even know who won last. No,
was it-
last
was
year
it
the
Ronda?
screwed up one?
No, last
No.
year wasn't a. It was no. Last year was Bianca Belair, wasn't it?
No,
Okay.
I don't
Nah,
think.
man.
Oh,
I
geez.
swear it was Bailey.
I'm
because
Googling
it
it.
was. I
It
swear
might
it was Bailey because she cashed in real quickly, and
Who's got a
then
Google machine?
I mean everybody.
Nick. Oh, that's right. Nikki Ash won.
Oh, that's what it was. Yeah.
yeah,
right.
yeah.
Yeah, and again,
Big
another
E,
thing they dropped the ball on. I'm sorry, she was over as fuck.
Yeah.
Alright.
It went
all right, man.
stupid. Fuck. Hey, didn't something happen with AEW though?
Yeah,
man.
there was a
I
pay-per-view.
was just trying to turn the knife and laugh a little bit more at WWE for having all these big fucking grand. Oh, it's a big 3 mega event summer. Well, it's down to 2.5 mega events now.
Suck
Yeah.
it.
So Double or Nothing was on Sunday night, and man, was it a fucking banger of a show, as they all are. Man, it was incredible. I think you all would agree with me on that.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean it was I only missed the first couple, but everything else that I saw, I mean I got to catch the pre-show. Team Hookhausen was awesome. It was exactly what that needed to be, especially with Danhausen getting the Jericho pin at the end, basically.
Yeah. I can't
Put on
believe they are not calling them Hookhausen. That pisses me off. They're Hook and Danhausen. No, we've already named them. Fall in line, announcer.
Yeah, exactly. No, that was awesome. And the rest of the night, it was really well paced. All the matches, nothing felt like it dragged too long or anything like that. All the matches were either at the very least good to awesome. So yeah,
the first hour had me worried. And MJF and Wardlow was exactly what it needed to be. But then we got the Hardys and the Bucks, and
I'm glad I missed that one.
Listen,
Before I do go off, I put in hey, for anyone out there, I put that I was going to go poop, but I have to say my word about this. That match, they were making it as this dream match. I'm like, you want to see a dream match between the two? Go and watch them on the indies. Don't watch that. It wasn't a trash fire. It came alive at the end of it, but it was a real slog getting there.
So Beef did say something in the chat, the group chat, when this was either going on or right after it ended. And I want you to expound on this, Beef, for me and the other listeners. You said something about like Jeff Hardy didn't look he didn't look, something was going on with Jeff Hardy. Expound on that.
Well, So they're and
Can I say
they're,
something about that?
You certainly can, Dave.
Okay, so I don't know if you saw this yet today, but there was something that came out about it either yesterday, late last night, or this morning, where they're blaming it on his boot coming untied halfway through the match.
I saw that.
Or it wasn't laced up properly, so he was walking around funny in the match because he didn't want his boot to fly off while he was doing moves. And that was like, that reason was just absurd to me.
Yeah, I mean, so like and like through the match I saw that and I'm like, oh, his boot's undone. Maybe that's the reason. But like, if start to finish,
he just tied his boot.
When I mean, in true fucking Jeff Hardy fashion, it wasn't just like lace him up. It was like some fucking weirdo fucking clip-on bonanza shit.
It was some reason he couldn't lace it back up. Somebody had to do it for him before the match or something.
He had it was password protected with stuff with whips and chains from Hot Topic and a safe word and fucking, I don't know.
Oh, he didn't have his phone to get his secondary verification.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
He couldn't get the thumbprint on because he had too much makeup on it. Anyway,
no face recognition.
Yeah, so, no facial recognition there.
Like at the very beginning when they came out, Jeff Hardy had zero pep. Like, you know how he normally fucking gets into it, his fucking body starts going, his hips start going, he gets the fucking arm flinging.
Don't
he fucking just like, he vibes, man. That's one thing he does. He's all vibe, and there was just none of that. Like, Matt Hardy was like trying to be too extra for him, but he just wasn't there. And that was like my first thought. I was like, boy, is this another fucking like whatever event that was? Yeah. So I don't so if you've heard or watched, he had a really, really tough match with Darby Allin a couple weeks ago.
He hurt himself in that match badly, from what I understand.
He did a swanton and he missed a swanton and like hit the stairs, so he let it back first on the stairs. I think at one point,
what you get, you dumb spot monkey.
Darby did like the coffin drop into like a pile of set up chairs, like, so he basically powerbombed himself on like the end of the chairs that were set up. It was exactly what you'd expect from those two.
It's like fucking watching like doppelgangers, just an older and younger version of themselves, just fucking beating the piss out of each other for no good goddamn reason.
Somebody had the time to
kill each other.
Yeah,
I mean, it's basically a demolition derby. It was a race to see
demolition derby.
Fuck them up more. Yeah, who can fuck each other? And like, unlike the Anarchy in the Arena match, which I loved, and we'll talk about it. Like, there were high drama spots in that match, but like, nobody was going to be fucking dead the next day. Nobody's career was going to be in jeopardy because of it. And I appreciate high drama spots, okay? And I get that Jeff Hardy has made his name on high drama spots. And I get that WrestleMania 16 ladder swanton onto Bubba Ray Dudley will be shown in perpetuity from now until the end of time. I understand every bit of that. But he is not the same Jeff Hardy. He can't act like the same Jeff Hardy. Tony Khan should not have signed him to be the same Jeff Hardy.
Shouldn't have signed him at all. Fuck him.
Right.
I like Ransom mentioned last week, I think that there is still tread on that tire, but I think you have to
I think the I think the threads have been coming through that fucking tire for a bit of time now.
Well, as opposed to taking those tires off-road, maybe you only drive them in the city. Maybe you only drive them 10 miles a month. I think there is still, but I mean, you can't. He basically has hit AEW, and he's been the Jeff Hardy of like 1999.
And it's like the Jeff Hardy of 1999 forever, even in like 2015. That's the problem. He's old and can't do that shit anymore. Stop it.
Here's the thing with
He's
WWE.
a classic car. Park him in the garage for a while.
Exactly. Here's the thing with WWE. Say what you will, but they hit that deficiency well. They knew that he shouldn't be jumping off of ladders anymore. So they put him in like regular matches. And we were all like, man, Jeff Hardy sucks. Because we weren't seeing him jump off of ladders through tables. Because you know why? Because we all associate him with doing that, and that's why he was quote unquote awesome back in the day. It turns out if you take the fucking spots away from the spot monkey, he's just a fucking monkey. Like
No
Look at that
kidding.
monkey run.
he's there's nothing redeemable about Jeffrey Nero Hart in the ring without ladders and chairs and tables. So
Not even as a different character, not even his brother Nero.
as a character, as a man with charisma, yeah, 100%. On the mic, but like in the ring, no. There's nothing that Jeff Hardy does in the ring that makes me go, I can't wait to see Jeff Hardy fight in this one-on-one match. But if Jeff Hardy's in hey, I'm gonna climb up to the top of this thing, jump off into the fucking pit from Mortal Kombat, I'm like, oh, I'm gonna watch that shit.
Finish him.
So
I mean, he's basically become a walking car crash. We can't look away, and we're just waiting for him. We're waiting for the next accident.
And here's the thing, like whenever you start watching a NASCAR race for the car crash and the car crash never happens, 5 hours later you look at your watch and you go, what the fuck just happened? Why did I do this to myself?
Now, quick question: Do you? I don't know how you feel about, like, in comparison, if you look at like Jeff Hardy's trajectory of his career and how they've treated him and how he's treated himself. One could argue almost the same thing for like Mick Foley, because they're led in that whole whenever him and Flair had that feud, and Flair basically said he wasn't a wrestler, he's a glorified stuntman. You know, like one could argue they kind of did the same thing to Mick Foley too. But you know,
Yeah.
And honestly, like I hate to see, like I know Mick is, you know, had some issues where I know there was a point where you know, in real life, like he was needing like hip surgery or something like that and didn't have the money for it. It was like, you know, GoFundMe in it or whatever. But like, I don't want to see that happen to anybody if they can help it. But Jesus Christ, like, what does Jeff think he's going to do to himself? Like he's setting himself up for failure. Because I'm sorry, I don't.
Well, we all knew as wrestling fans eventually Jeff Hardy was going to hit a wall. And whether you like him or not, whether you like what he does or not, you know, he did it, and he pushed and he pushed and he pushed well past when people think he should have. Or whether, I'll bet even he surprised himself, but we're finally seeing him hit the wall.
That's the problem with wrestlers who are essentially, like Beef said, spot monkeys. When that's who you are, and when you build your brand and off of that, and when people want to see you because you're a spot monkey, and that's what I think that, you know, probably Jeff Hardy didn't realize, or maybe, you know, even Mick Foley didn't realize to an extent. You have a very finite timeline on how long you can go in that role as a spot monkey, because there's only so much you can do as a spot monkey that gets people to go, bah, 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 that is safe for your body, until you begin to injure yourself because people want to see more. And if you don't have that capability to fall back on in-ring wrestling, like some people could do both. Some people are excellent spot monkeys, but they are also excellent as just a regular match, no tables, no ladders, no chairs, no flippy doos. But if that's all you can do, you have a very finite timeline. Because once your body can't do that anymore, and, you know, it's been said already, Jeff Hardy's a prime example of that. When you put Jeff Hardy in a regular wrestling match and expect him just to do regular wrestling, nobody gives a shit. Because A, it's not great, and B, he went so long off of that spot monkey brand that people don't want to see regular wrestling out of him anymore, because they want to see the spot monkey.
Yeah, I have one thing to kind of add on to that, and then I actually gotta run out of here. And this, what you were saying there, Ransom, getting people to ooh and ah just over, a move set or whatever. You have to have more to it than just that. Like, it's cool to see. You can get a nice pop from a really cool spot. But I've talked about it before. This is whenever, like, the in-ring psychology comes into play. This is when you have to be able to cut a promo, because look at somebody, for example, like Ricochet. In WWE, they didn't really use him well at all. He could do some awesome flippy doos and stuff like that, but he wasn't very good on the mic, and they saw that and they basically neutered him and
gross.
didn't do shit with him. So you have to, like Ransom said, you have to be able to fall back on more. You have to be able to do stuff when you get to a certain point where you realize, I can't physically do some of this same stuff, or you know what, this character is a little stale or something. You have to be able to reinvent yourself. You have to be able to fall back on some wrestling psychology and work people's emotions and get them emotionally invested in other ways besides having a cool looking spot or having a cool looking move. Because, like, I'm sure, like, one of the first times when we saw Sweet Chin Music, nobody else was really doing super kicks back then. It was a big fucking deal. Now you see a super kick like 5 times a fucking match. It's lost its luster. It's not, a finishing move anymore. It's a, a transitional sort of thing or whatever. And that's, that's
DDT
not
was the same way.
Exactly.
Right.
And that's basically my point, is a move, eventually is going to lose its luster, because you're going to see moves over and over and over and over again. Same thing with anything, same character over and over and over again. You have to be able to reinvent things. You have to be able to adapt. You have to be able to fall back on the actual psychology of the match and get people invested and feeling a reason. Why are you giving them a reason to cheer you or boo you or whatever? Not just, hey, look at this, because eventually you can only go, hey, look at this, so many times before people go, oh, yeah, that's not that interesting anymore. So, but
I think
good.
Good. I was
Good.
gonna say, I think the biggest thing with Jeff Hardy is he was this. It started out as a spot monkey with him and his brother and everything, and you got to remember, he's had so many public bouts with addiction. That addicted personality is also with the crowd itself. So he craved that bigger and bigger and bigger cheer, to the point where he didn't know how to do anything else but go after those, as opposed to other wrestlers who did these type of spots, like Jericho, who completely changed his style from his luchador days, back when he was back as a cruiserweight. Hardy never actually did that, because he just wanted that admiration from the fans themselves.
Yeah, that's a very salient point.
I don't think it was just the admiration of the fans. I mean, that had to have been a factor, but I think it was just because Jeff Hardy's always been that way, and that's what he always does, and that's what he always did. So he's like, fuck it, I'm good at this. Fuck it, let's just keep going.
Well, and so at the end of the day, when I saw that shit happening live, I was like, oh no, like, here we go again. And I was really hoping that I think Ransom mentioned in the chat that Tony Khan wouldn't have just thrown him out there. Like, he would have said, nope, that's not happening. We'll figure something else out. I don't think it was just a boot issue. I really don't. I think it was a combination, but, like, if when he jumped up to the top rope, he did not jump up to the top rope. It was a very gingerly climb, and he almost fell. Like, there were a lot of times that made me go, I'm really worried about Jeff Hardy here.
You think he has, like, lingering concussion issues?
That could be. I hope that I'm so wrong about him being back on the sauce or whatever the fuck his particular vice would be that particular day. But, like, I hope that I'm wrong about that. But that's the first place my mind went. And I to be honest, it may have been a combination of everything. maybe he was on one too many painkillers because he fucked himself up 2 weeks prior, which is another great lesson in being a booker, being the company owner, being the guy who makes the decisions. If you have a marquee matchup coming up in 2 weeks, don't jeopardize that by putting one of the guys in that match in some fucking stupid match that nobody's going to remember past 2 weeks.
Yep.
Sure, it's great, and people at the time were lauding, oh, this was an incredible match. This is the best match of the year. It was fun. But, like, as soon as Anarchy in the Arena happened, I was like, this has been way more fun than the fucking Jeff Hardy and Sting, or Jeff Hardy and Darby Allin match. And nobody, like, put their career in jeopardy. It was just big, stupid, dumb fun. So I think that there is a line that I think Tony Khan needs to kind of see and start to understand. And I guess the name of the game is not trusting Jeff Hardy, really at all, ever, about anything. Hey, Jeff, you sober? Yeah, all right. You're probably not. Hey, Jeff,
Blow hair.
Yeah, I'm good. You're probably not. Like,
Why
hey,
don't we just
Jeff.
put a breathalyzer next to Gorilla, like if he had his car, he has to
Jesus.
blow into it every time he goes out to the ring.
Fuck.
Before he can get his music to play, he has to blow into the breathalyzer. If he doesn't blow into it, or if he blows into it and doesn't pass, his music doesn't play.
And the one point that I want to come back around on is this. If Jeff Hardy had something medically that was an issue with him, let's not forget that this is not the first time that that's come up with Tony Khan. There was the Jamie Hayter incident, or no, I'm sorry, it may have been Jamie Hayter. I don't know if it was Jamie Hayter or Brie Priestley. Anyway, way back at like Fight for the Fallen 2019, where they got concussed before the match or like during the match, and clearly
that was Britt. I think it was Britt and Priestley or whatever, because Aubrey Edwards was the ref in there, and it was
a tag team match. I think the Britt and Brie Priestley were on a team together, maybe.
I can't remember who it was, but I think it was Britt that actually got concussed.
No, it was not. No, it was definitely somebody else, and
okay.
Yeah, they very clearly were out of it. And then, there was the fucking Matt Hardy thing 2 years ago, maybe, or maybe it was last year, where he basically where he basically got concussed in
Sammy Guerrero match.
And they had to, he said, keep pushing on. So, I don't want to, jump on this too hard either, but if there were a lingering problem with Jeff Hardy and Tony Khan said, hey, man, go out there and do your thing, that's not a good look either, bud. That's not a good look either. But
no.
Then after that match was Jade and Anna, which was mercifully under 10 minutes. I like both of those girls. I think they're both going to go a long way. I think that Jade's going to be an absolute superstar, but it wasn't going to be on Sunday. It really took off with the House of Black match, and it never really slowed down after that. Even the O'Reilly Darby Allin match was phenomenal. For having no booking and no the only thing that had happened was that O'Reilly and Fish pillmanized Sting's ankle a couple weeks prior. Other than that, there was no build up to it, and it was phenomenal. The ones that stuck with me were the three last matches. Well, 3 of the 4 last matches, which was the Anarchy in the Arena match, the women's title match, and the CM Punk match. And the tag team match was really good too. But in comparison, I think that those 3 blew it out of the water, and I think blew the rest of the card out of the water. First of all, let me say how great it was to see the women's title be in a really good match. I think that Britt Baker's been champion for a long time, and we said oh, that was a good match. It was an okay match, but like it's nice that the women's title actually stood out for once. You know?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, we talked about it a little bit as we were watching the event. Like, no disrespect to Britt, but as far as in-ring ability, it seems like she kind of is like plateaued a little bit. And Thunder Rosa and Serena Deeb in the ring were just phenomenal.
I was gonna say I would say Britt Baker has gotten comfortable. Like I think that's a good way to put it, is that because of her spot, because of her clout, because of her popularity, you know, and it happens to literally anybody. You kind of lose your edge. You know,
you get fat. You know, maybe not literally fat, but that, you know, like you're
emotionally bloated.
Yeah. You're in a place where you're like, hey, I know what I'm doing. I'm really good at this. I'm not going to go anywhere. So like you're happy, you're satiated, and that's it exactly. And I mean Britt and again I understand that we are the Pittsburgh Pile Driver podcast and that Britt represents Pittsburgh time and time again, and proud we are of her. But at the end of the day, she has to keep working. She has to keep showing up hungry, because I'm telling you what, it's feeding time. Like that women's division is absolutely ready to pop. With Sheeta being back, with Dee being at the level that she is, with Statlander absolutely going through the roof right now, with Ruby Soho coming into her own, with Athena debuting, like right now, that women's division is ready to hit the stratosphere. So if you're not ready and if you're not on board,
we got 2 words for you.
You better be. No, we don't.
Damn it.
Well, the question with Britt too is she had it for so long that she may have been burnt out by that point.
That's true too.
She may have been done. She basically beat everyone. They were trying to build her up an opponent that could take it from her, and once they finally did, but they took their sweet time getting there, because you know she held it through. I'm pretty sure almost all of the COVID stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah, she beat. She beat Sheeta. Oh hell! I think she held it for like almost a full year. I think it was almost 360 days, something like that. But yeah, she had it for a minute for sure.
Okay.
But yeah, let's see. She won it at Double or Nothing in 2021 and lost it in March. So no, Hikaru Shida had it for almost a year. Britt Baker had it for a little under a year. But yeah, you know, it's just refreshing to be able to speak glowingly of the AW Women's title for once. The Anarchy in the Arena match was way more than I expected.
Oh, I have to mention this to Ransom because I told him to remind me about it. But since we're talking about it, so as we're sitting there watching this match, Ransom, they have Jericho Appreciation Society came out first, and then and they played Moxley's Wild Things song, and Blackpool Combat Club and everybody else are coming from like different parts of the arena.
I was going to say, can I just say how cool that entrance was? Where it's just playing the announcers, just not like the American Dragon, just Bryan Danielson. Like it just felt super cool.
And it was as we're watching it, I was like, we're like, the music's still going. And I was like, I'd be okay if they like kept the music going for a while. We were all kind of like, yeah, that'd be kind of cool. Like, yeah, fuck it, let the music go for the whole match, just because it's a whole big fucking street brawl wild thing. Okay, cool. And I was like, I was just waiting. I'm like, okay, something's gonna happen where they gotta fucking cut it. And Jericho, again, fucking the in-ring general that he is and the psychologist that he is, eventually goes over to like the soundboard area and takes like unplugs something, and he's like, shut this shit off, and just like starts breaking a piece of equipment to stop the Wild Thing music. Perfectly done. perfectly done. That was like
smashing over Moxley's head. That was the best part. That he hit Moxley with it. And, and the fans just ate it up. They fucking hated it. He was like the persona non grata for about 5 minutes after that.
Oh, it was like again. That's just one of those things. Like he didn't have to do he didn't do a lot necessarily. Like he didn't have to do a whole big bunch of spots and stuff like that. But something little like that, so well done, so well thought out. Or even if it was something that came up in the moment, I don't think it was. I think that spot was probably planned. But my God, like it's just perfect, and I laughed my ass off. It was so great. I love that. That was probably like one of my favorite parts of the whole match.
Yeah, man, and Jericho's showing you to work smarter, not harder.
Yep.
Jericho should be setting a guy like Darby down and be like, listen, kid, if you want to end up like Jeff Hardy in 20 years. Have at it. Or you could end up like me in 20 years, go to a new company, be their first world champion, and put a rocket on their back all because you're there. Let me teach you how to work smarter, not harder. Jericho knows how to fucking work the crowd. Obviously, he's amazing at what he does. He's a fucking wizard. But there were just so many. Just really good spots in that match. I love the ending where Daniel Bryan says, "I'm gonna kick his fucking head in."
That made me pop super fucking hard.
Eddie Kingston comes out with a fucking can of gas like he's gonna light Jericho on fire, and Jericho had the best line of the night. Well, no, MJF had the best line of the night. Period on Dynamite. But Jericho had a great line when he said, "What kind of a person lights somebody on fire?" 3 weeks after he threw a fireball at Eddie Kingston. Like, he's Jericho is on another level.
For the last how many weeks?
That tactical not reading of the room.
Yeah, man. He's so smart, and he fucking gets it. He's on, dare I say, a Triple H like mental level with understanding wrestling right now, and that's a big compliment. And I mean, we've known how amazing he is. I want to hear from you guys what you think about CM Punk winning the title, though.
Let me say something real quick.
Yeah.
I actually have to cut out, and I haven't watched that match yet, so I'm not going to be able to give any information.
Spoilers.
I know what's happened. I've seen pieces of it, but with getting ready for my son's graduation and everything, I've been very limited of what I can watch. So with that, I'm going to actually take my leave, and you guys go ahead and enjoy the rest of your evening.
Hey, thanks for coming, Dave.
You're welcome. Make sure you keep my belt warm for me, all right?
The smugness on this guy. Get him out of here. Get him out of here.
All right, guys. I'll catch you later.
Thanks for coming, Dave. See ya.
Yep.
See ya.
So what did you guys think about that title change?
I honestly, I'm going to say my piece and then also head out here. I think for any of the naysayers that of course there's the meme I saw like, oh, look at AEW pushing this young talent, and then it's a picture of CM Punk or whatever. Listen,
man.
Yeah, listen. There are reasons for it. Like even back in the genesis of it all of AEW, whenever they when Jericho was the first champ, you put there's a reason you put the title on Jericho, and then ended up having a younger talent take it off of him. The name notoriety and everything, the star power that Jericho has, you had to get butts and seats first. Veteran presence. If you watch Shorzy, you'll understand that. Anyways, but in this case, Hangman's run has been kind of lackluster. It wasn't anything super amazing to write home about. And honestly, with everything that's been going on with MJF, it's a good way to pivot. Even if Punk ends up being a transitional champion, it's going to serve the company better in the long run too, because this now sets up the unfinished business between MJF and Punk. You could easily have MJF end up being, the one to take it off of him. You could kind of take Hangman's character and have him kind of go to a little bit of a more dark and grizzled place or something like that. Have him, try a few rematches with Punk or something like that. Not necessarily saying he has to take it, but you have options. So I'm perfectly fine with it. I think it was a well-timed thing. And even if Hangman or MJF, neither one are the next ones to feud with Punk, you still have Kenny Omega in the future. That right there is that's money match right there. There's a lot of options that they can go with it, and if the crowd ends up being very fickle and kind of turn on it and decide, all right, yeah, we don't want Punk as the champ, he's the type of person that can lean into it, go full heel mode, and roll with it, and they'll be fine. I think it's a good thing. I'm perfectly okay with it. So, and with that, I bid you gentlemen adieu. Good night. And bang.
Staggering off like a bunch of drunks in this show.
All right, bye, everyone. Thanks, everyone. Bye.
How dare you?
I kind of want to hear Ransom's take on this one, Beef. Not that I don't want to hear yours or expound on mine, but I'm very interested in what Ransom has to say on this.
Okay. So, for all the naysayers out there, look at AEW pushing these young, hot new talents. Blah, 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 blah. There's always going to be people that are dissatisfied. You're never going to satisfy every niche group that's out there. The fact of the matter, and I wholeheartedly believe this, is that if your grand plan is to put that belt on MJF and to have MJF win that belt in big fashion, people who are diehard, hardcore, every week watching AEW fans are going to give you a bigger reaction. They're going to care more about MJF versus CM Punk rather than MJF versus Adam Page. And again, no slight to Adam Page. I think timing wasn't on his side, but his title reign was kind of like, all right, good for him. All right, good. Glad it happened. Glad he was able to get there. Okay. But it didn't really elevate beyond that. But with Punk and the chemistry and the mic skills that Punk and MJF have, this all assumes that it leads down the road to Punk versus MJF. The build-up is going to be more spectacular. It's going to be bigger. The match is going to be more spectacular. The blow-off is going to be more spectacular. And I think the win for MJF, again, assuming he wins it, the win for MJF is going to mean more to have him beat Punk for that title than it would for him to beat Adam Page for that title. So I think this was the right move. Whether or not CM Punk holds that belt for a year or just through the summer and it all out, MJF takes it. Regardless, I think they needed a refresh on that belt. I don't think Adam Page was going to get the pomp and circumstance that maybe we had all hoped for. But I think Punk can do it. And yeah, Punk's no spring chicken. And yeah, Punk was a WWE guy first. And yeah, yada, yada, yada. All valid points. But at the end of the day, every single time that CM Punk has held a world title and has been given the reins and said, hey man, go do the thing, he has made a very impactful run of said title. It's never been a flop unless the machine behind him turned it into a flop, Vince. But I think this was the right decision. I don't think I have no problems. I have no problems with it. I have no problems with it being an ex-WWE guy. I have no problem with Punk's age. I don't. I see this as only good things to come for Punk, MJF, and for the AEW Championship.
Well put, Poot.
I think that this is something that was needed because a lot of us have been clamoring for another summer of Punk or one that actually is going to be good. But the thing is, Punk has now gotten to the point where he is not the one who's going to be focused on summer of Punk. This is the summer of MJF, baby. Like, I mean, it just is. Like, Punk is now in the position where he can look and go, that was me. And I've earned this. And, like, I'd love to see heel Punk. Heel champ Punk. Heel Punk, in my opinion, is better than babyface Punk. Just is. Now,
can I interrupt you with a question?
Yep.
If he winds up being heel Punk, do they still do heel Punk versus heel MJF and make it work?
Yeah, but see, you heard during his, if you watched his if I may, his pipe bomb, people were booing him the whole, like, there were boos and everything. Then he pointed out that there were some claps and cheers. By the end of it, after he called out Tony Khan, if you watch, there was someone who filmed after what happened, after the promo, after it went off the air. People were fucking screaming for MJF. They were chanting MJF. Punk even came down to the ring. And MJF jumped the rail and ran off into the crowd. And, like, Punk came down to probably try and talk him off some kind of ledge. So they're already kind of setting the seeds of that. And also Punk being that veteran presence, like Tom said. But,
well, and being MJF's favorite wrestler growing up. Like, MJF has admitted as such. I think that this is all just apropos.
Yeah, so, like, it really is, and it's just kind of like, okay, well, you know, I think we need this. I think we need Punk, because having another veteran like that hold the belt and do it, you know, do it and run with it and kind of have that grizzled old veteran thing that, like, Jericho did. I think it will not only lend credence to whoever takes it off of him. Again, we've talked about MJF, but whoever they decide to take that belt off of Punk, it's going to be a big deal. It's going to be a big rub. It's going to be a big thing. Punk can work with anyone. He can talk with anyone. And he can make anything entertaining. That's the thing that happens with guys like Jericho, guys like Punk. They can just do that. And they can turn, you know, chicken shit into chicken salad. You know what I mean? They just can't. I like the fact they put the belt on Punk. I like the fact that normal marks are screaming and yelling and hollering and saying, bah, 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 bah. See, but they're really giving credence to the bah, 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 bah. I'm like, shut the fuck up, man. Even if you don't like it, it's seasons of life. Eventually, you're going to get that belt put on a homegrown talent or someone who deserves it, and they're going to be skyrocketed into the stratosphere. It's going to lend more credence to the belt. In the long run, it's going to be a good thing. I like seeing Punk have maybe presumably one last big run with a major title. I am just happy to see it. And you could see how genuinely pleased and happy CM Punk was. That he was, you know, that he's in this position and that he got the chance to do this after so long. I really think it's only going to do good for AEW. I think it's only going to do good for the people that are going to get to work with and sit under the learning tree of guys like CM Punk. I think it's going to be good. Compounding with all the static and noise that's around MJF right now, especially in the media, I just think it's good. And I know that might be a little bit more basic and that might be a little bit more, you know, kind of plebeian. I'm not going head over heels being like, oh my God, Punk is... I'm not denigrating it. I'm sitting in the middle going, this is good. This is right. This is right. And I think it will be a good stretch of time where everything can gestate and really stew, so that then whenever there is a paradigm shift, pardon the pun, you're going to get something really special going forward.
I, as you gentlemen know, am a big CM Punk fan.
What?
I was a CM Punk apologist and a defender to the last fucking drop. And I still think that what he did was right. And I and again, we're walking the same statement back. I still defend what Sasha did, Naomi, and to a lesser extent MJF if it was a shoot. I still defend all that because you gotta live for your principles. If you don't live for your principles, you'll die for somebody else's. And let's not belabor the fact that whenever CM Punk walked out of WWE, their plan was to have Phil versus Triple H at Mania, and to have Daniel Bryan on the pre-show versus Sheamus. In the middle of the Yes movement, they were going to do this. So to say that his leaving then did not have an impact on things would be a bold-a-dash lie. All that being said, I'm a huge CM Punk fan. And I was worried that putting this belt on him was the wrong move. Because, he has lost a step. He tried to do the buckshot twice and failed both times. The second time after he failed, he looked at the ref and said, "That's a really fucking hard move to do." He is not who he once was. But that being said, he is still CM Punk. He is still an absolute draw. And honestly, he's still a bigger draw than Adam Page. I like Hangman. I think that he is a great face of your franchise. I think that he was a hot commodity. I think that the shine wore off. And I don't think the booking did him any favors. All of that being said, Poot said something that I was going to say, and I'm pissed that you stole my point, but I'm going to fucking harken back to it. When you said that this is not the summer of Punk, this is the summer of MJF. And we were all excited for Punk to win, saying, "Oh, it's a summer of Punk, it's a summer of Punk." It's not. It is absolutely the summer of MJF. And you can go back and you can compare the pipe bomb with MJF's promo, and I don't know what it's going to be called, but people are already calling MJF's promo last night like a big moment in wrestling history. And at this point, it's one of the biggest moments in AEW history, for sure. So I absolutely think that this is going to be there are a lot of comparisons to the pipe bomb to MJF's promo last night. One of which is, both of them were heels, and both of them were getting face reactions. Both of them tried to nip that shit in the bud and tried to heal it up on them. But at the end of the day, it's probably not going to matter. Is this the Vince and Austin storyline rehashed? Probably. Am I still here for it? Mm-hmm. If they do it right, 100%. But I think, again, to Poot's point, such a smart man, Punk absolutely needs to be the foil to MJF. I don't know if the timeline is going to be as succinct as I thought it was going to be. I was thinking it was going to be all out. It may not be all out, but then again, it may. I don't know. I think that Punk has a great match with Tanahashi at Forbidden Door. I think it's going to be a really fun match. I'm excited to see that first time match. But I think, yes, ultimately Punk loses to MJF to kick off MJF's big reign. I think that MJF's probably going to have a Kenny Omega style reign as champion. And I think that in order to do that, he needed to beat CM Punk. Because like Poot said, a victory over Hangman doesn't mean near as much as it does a victory over CM Punk. So while I'm excited as a CM Punk fan to see him back on top, to see him holding, and I was super fucking stoked to see it on Sunday night. I'm super happy. I love it, but I also understand that this is very likely a vehicle to make Max like the biggest star that they've had in years. So I think they absolutely need to do that and absolutely will do that. Gentlemen, when we said that this was going to be a mega show, we weren't lying.
Nope. Just shy of 2 hours, buddy.
This is basically an old school episode. So, without further ado, pow! Take us home.
I'm going to give you a big old burrito wrapped in a bowl, wrapped in another burrito, wrapped in another quesadilla. Thank you very much for listening to this Mega Picks episode featuring our former Chooserweight Champion, Vapor Dave, allegedly. And we want to thank everyone for being here. And I kind of liked everyone slowly petered out. And then there were three. Oh,
yeah.
Yeah. So thank you all very much for listening to P3 Podcast. Thank you to Casual Gaming Dad's channel on Twitch and YouTube. That's Casual Gaming Dad 84 over on Twitch, if I'm not mistaken. Did I get that right, Beef? Nice, thanks. Anyway, you also go on Facebook and you check out Casual Gaming Dad. Join Casual Gaming Dad's Corner. Check out all his awesome streams. It's a lot of fun. Every Tuesday there's Among Us, and generally it is played by people. I have been out of the loop lately because I'm a fat baby and a mailbox head. Also, what am I, Beef?
Huh?
All right, good. Keep being an old man over there. Used all your mental energy yammering this past 2 hours. Now he's just drooling on himself, wanting to watch Matlock and going, huh?
I don't know what the
mailbox head. Fig nuts.
Well, okay.
Fig nuts was the third one. You fig nuts. Anyway. So make sure you go check out Casual Gaming Dad. We also want to thank Mr. Sean Tischler and his work with pro wrestling in the central PA and the greater PA area, really. And I'm going to digress a little bit and tell you not to forget to get your own Casual Gaming Dad merch over at gouldgaming.com and search on Casual Gaming Dad, and also pick up your own Pittsburgh Pile Driver Podcast t-shirt. For God's sake, we have 700 warehouses full of the fucking things. Please, just buy them. We also want to thank Frig Off Ransom, our very own Ransom the Madman, and his channel, aptly named Frig Off Ransom, over on YouTube. Give him a subscribe and a like because he's a sweet, special boy who's full of tequila tonight, and I'm proud of him. And again, we want to thank Vapor Dave for coming on here. We really appreciate it. For myself, the Barbarian, Poot the Bard, baby. For Casual Gaming Dad himself, Tiger Bomb Tom, we want to thank Ransom the Madman over there. And you're reigning.
Nope.
Defending.
No,
I have the goddamn mic. What?
Nope. Ransom does it. He is the advocate. He does it. Do it, Ransom.
Yes, I am the
Oh, no. Look, everyone, a server mute. That sucks. You're reigning. I'm kidding. Go ahead, Ransom.
This fucking guy, he doesn't understand. Yeah, that's me. Dan Handsome Ransom here, and I am the advocate for your brand spanking, shiny, bobbly, new Chooserweight Champion. That would be the man, the myth, the beef, the legend, your Chooserweight Champion. Get on your marrow bones and pray to the Lord of the Belt.
That's how you do it.
All right, that was
Sign off!